Communication, my goodness. The thing that we talked about as far as the definition, do you remember? Yeah, two-word definition, what was it? Yes, thought transmission. Communication is very critical. I'd like to give you something that we didn't get a chance to talk about in the workshop, and that is how I can remember something when it comes to communication and how critical it is to give myself ongoing feedback. Here's an idea for you. What occurs when communication takes place? Typically an echo. So remember echo when it comes to evaluating how well you have communicated. The E is for empathy. To what extent did you empathize with the listener? To what extent was your heart engaged as well as your ears? Empathy when it comes to communication is quite critical. Remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And what better way to display that than empathy? The second thing is the C is for clarifying. So often we look at clarifying as just the content of what was said. I'm going to ask you to do something first. Clarify the context. In other words, ask those clarifying questions. How does this impact the people at my level? How does this impact the people at the level above me? How does this impact the people that may report to me? Asking questions when it comes to communication and the context is critical. And yes, and the content is critical as well. What words did they say? What exactly was the meaning behind those words? Remember, clarify the content. And you do that by summarizing what you've heard. And when you summarize that, it places you in a position to get feedback right then as to how accurate you are. Well, the H is critical because when it comes to H, it reminds me of honoring your commitment. H, honor. Honor your commitments. Those commitments that you make in that conversation, those commitments that you make in that communication is quite critical. It's hard for you to go back and regain that integrity. So honor the commitments that you make in that communication. And O is for ongoing feedback. Allow yourself to get ongoing feedback whether or not you have communicated properly. When it comes to communication, remember to listen for the echo. Yes, E for empathy. Did I really listen with empathy? The C, did I really ask clarifying questions in order to find out exactly what was being said and the meaning behind what was said? And yes, you know, H is for honor. Honor those commitments that you make in that communication. And O, having that ongoing feedback. And you will find yourself beginning to have more and more effective communication.